Well, hello there, beautiful. Welcome back to the tea room. It's time for tea with Tamara. So today I'm going to be talking about the Becca and Chrissy Teigen collaboration palette. That is what I used on this look today. You might have seen this whole getup, this face, this whole outfit a time or two, maybe previously before this video, but yes, I wanted to come with my final review on this Becca and Chrissy Teigen palette for you guys. So the palette retails for $46. I got mine at Ulta, right off the shelf. You can get yours either through the Becca website. I believe Sephora carries it too. Yes, I do believe Sephora has it and Ulta has it. And now right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't wanna sleep on this palette, okay? This palette is freaking amazing, yes. If you don't have this, you might possibly want this when this review is done. This is what the palette looks like. You get two highlighters, a bronzer, and a blush, okay? And yes, I know you might be thinking, okay, well, I can create that highlighter. I have other highlighters that are similar. I have other things that are similar in my collection, and that might be true. And if that is the case and you're balling on a budget, do you, boo. But if you are looking in the market for a palette that you can use this summer that will give you a nice, beautiful, beachy, bronzy glow, then this is the palette that you're gonna wanna have. So let's get into some swatches. If you saw me haul this palette, I swatched it there. If you didn't catch that video, I will put it up in the cards for you to watch that. But I'm gonna do you a favor and I'm gonna swatch this palette all over for you. Again, just to remind you of the gorgeousness that is going on in this palette. Okay, so these are the two highlighters. This is the Rose Gold highlighter and this is the Beach Nectar highlighter. And I'm actually wearing the Rose Gold highlighter on my eyelids right now. Yes, you heard me correctly. Do not stop the video. Do not rewind the video. I'm using the highlighter on my mobile lid for this look that I'm wearing today. And I'm gonna go ahead now and swatch the blush and the bronzer for you. This palette is really versatile, you guys. I use this palette for my entire look that I'm wearing right now, and I have to say I quite like it. All of the shadows, I guess they're shadows, bronzers, highlighters, they all apply beautifully to the skin. You can use the highlighters as an eyeshadow. You can use them dry or you can use them wet depending on the look that you're going for. I used it wet for a more foiled look on my mobile lid. I have the blush on, which is beautiful. You can either make it as pigmented as you want. You can just do a flush of color, or you can really punch it up like I did on this swatch here. And now the bronzer, this may be the one that some of my women of color sisters might be questioning. Is that gonna work for me? Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. For me, I tried to use the bronzer all over and I liked it. You really can't see it on me because it kind of blended into my skin tone, but I still like it. But what I did do is I used it in my crease as a transition color. So I said this in my haul before. If you think that you can't use this color at all and you're thinking, okay, I'm just gonna skip the palette because that won't bronze me, I'm going to tell you, no, you absolutely can use it. You may just can't use it in the sense that it was created for, but you can definitely use it, okay? You can totally put that in your crease. You can use it as an all over color. If you're lighter complected than me, then yes, it's gonna bronze you. I did put it on my entire face, so I have a little bit of it up here. It's not too orangey, it's not too red for me. I feel like it just blended very nicely into my skin. So if you wanted to add a little warmth on your skin, then absolutely you can use that on your skin, you guys. This palette is freaking awesome. So I already told you I used the Rose Gold on my mobile lid. I'm using the Beach Nectar, this one right here, as my highlight. But you guys, I also used it on my lips. Yes, you heard me correctly. So what I did was I took the Beach Nectar onto a lipstick brush right here, and I just pat some on the center of my lip to punch up my lipstick, because I'm wearing a matte lipstick, but I felt like it's a little too flat for me. I wanted to add a little bit of shimmer and dimension on the lips, so that's what I used it for. And this is what I'm talking about with this palette. Yes, it's a bronze and highlight brush palette, but you can use it for so many other things. Definitely one that you want to have in your collection. I love palettes that you can experiment with, that you can play with, that you can do different things with. You don't have to use it for what it's intended for only. You can use it for other things. So for example, I wanted to experiment with a little bit of color. I'm trying to find the brush that I used because I have my mess out here, but I took a, you could use, okay, I'll just grab this one. You could use a flat shader brush like this. And so what I did was I went into my blush color and I just went right up underneath my lower lash line with that blush color, just for an added pop of color in my makeup look, like so. And it's not a lot. I mean, you won't see it unless you're in my face. But for me, if you are like me and you tend to gravitate towards neutral looks, but you wanted to experiment with a little bit of color, you can pop that right up underneath your lower lash line just for a little hint of color. You want to be careful because it is a corally reddish kind of color. So if you're lighter complected, just use a very light hand, because reds can tend to make you look sick around the eyes. But what I'm trying to communicate to you guys is this palette is freaking awesome, man. Like, it is amazing, awesome, okay? Don't just limit yourself, and you can do this with practically any palette that you have. Don't limit yourself to using it just as a bronzer, just as a blush, or just as a highlighter. Experiment, play with your stuff, and see what you can do with your makeup. Make your makeup work for you. We are paying tons and tons of money for this makeup, and to only just use it as for one thing, you want to get your money's worth. And this palette is not cheap, but it is definitely worth it. The packaging is stunning. Look at those colors. It has kind of like a water marble motif going on. And then the back is rose gold back here, and it does tell you what the names of each product is. And it's just a beautiful, stunning packaging and palette to have in your collection. So that's everything that I have to say about the palette. I feel like you do get a generous amount, especially with those highlighters, a very generous amount of product in each of the discs of color here. And it's just, you know, Becca doesn't disappoint. I don't think I've ever tried anything from Becca that I didn't like for the products that I do have, and I've never been disappointed with them. So definitely worth having and adding to your collection. Again, the palette is $46. You can get it at the Becca website, you can get it at Ulta, and you can get it at Sephora. Run, don't walk, don't sleep on this one, you guys. And that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by the tea room and chatting with me. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and click that little notification bell so that you can be aware of when I upload next. And you know what I'm going to tell you: stay sweet, stay beautiful, and remember, there's always time for tea. I love you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.